Hello everybody and welcome to yet another and probably the last update for the jogOS music mixer. And I say the last because it has pretty much everything I want it to have. Like there's a few things that I would still like to add to it, but they wouldn't really make too much of a difference. Like one of them is just like a minor convenience thing that really makes no difference at all. And the other is my own file editor for it, which I would probably never be able to accomplish that. So I'm going to call it complete here. And you have no idea how many tries it took to get the install file right, because since this is the last one, I want it to be correct instead of last time where I let one issue pass. But anyways, let's get on with it. Now, all of the programs I'm about to show you can work on both the advanced and normal computers, doesn't matter which one, but the difference is in survival, the normal computer is cheaper to make. So, to install it, you want to do pastebin run, then lowercase z, lowercase g, capital R, capital U, capital Q, lowercase h, capital Z, capital F. And then you hit enter. And you come to this screen, and you get to select which program you want to install. The jogOS Music Mixer is the main file that has been in all the previous ones, and then these two here are new ones. Now, in the last one, I mentioned that the networking cables can only transmit the signal so far. In fact, it's a 256 block limit. So if you're to use this to set up multiple iron note blocks throughout your base, this thing can only travel 256 blocks. So each time you place one of these, that's one block added to the distance. It can only travel 256 blocks from this computer. And in previous versions, there was no way to get around that. But thanks to these two programs here, you can now have it go as far as the loaded chunks reach. And it doesn't go beyond loaded chunks because the chunks aren't loaded, and if they're unloaded, then no one's in that area anyways, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, we're going to select the main one, and it downloads the files and yells at us for not having an iron note block attached. So we attach an iron note block there from the Peripherals ++ mod. So this is the main screen, and as you can see, I actually changed the version number this time. And probably the biggest feature here is basic logic and variables. So if we look in the guide, now this is really only meant for people who have a experience with programming, because it's a bit difficult to understand, and it's only 4 operations involved with it, but what can be done with these operations is so complex. It can be complex to the point where I'm not gonna go over it in the video, because like I said, it's meant for people with experience with programming, and if you have experience with programming, then you know how it all works already anyways. Anyways, yeah. And as always, there is the example file that you can look at and play. And now, the other thing I changed is now the function that converts these bits of information here into actual numbers for the computer to read. I changed it so that for here, it doesn't change it to a decimal. It just keeps it as a whole number, which means if you do put a decimal in, it will be a decimal. And so now, if you just do set tempo 1, that'd be 1 second instead of 0.1 seconds like it was before. And that allows for a bit more control of your tempo. And the only issue, though, is it did screw up the timings a little bit. I did my best to try and fix it. Well, I didn't bother trying to change the code at all. I just tried to adjust the tempo in here to get it right, but I didn't fix it all the way because I personally find the new version better. it's just so much better. And as always, if you have a song playing in an infinite loop like this one is, you just apply a redstone signal to the top of the computer and it will stop. And also, you have the reload note blocks, so if you're to add more note blocks to the computer, you would have to run that in order for it to know that those note blocks are there. Same thing if you're to remove note blocks. And now, let's start getting into the new stuff. I'm going to use normal computers from here on because it doesn't matter. We're going to put down a relay first. And so again, same install procedure. It's just the same old code. Well, it's not old, it's new. I have to constantly look back at my notepad that I have beside me. And now, since we want to install the relay instead, I spelt relay wrong there. Oh well, too bad. I guess one issue made it through again. So now this time we type in 2, and it'll select the second option. And it'll yell at us because there's no modems attached. Let's just attach a modem and connect it to the main computer, and we're gonna have to do the reload note blocks for the computer to realize that that modem is there. So let's do that. Now we tell this guy that he can stop being cranky, and right, okay, yeah, so yeah, that's not an issue, it's just something that I didn't think of. Anyways, what happened there is it exited out of the script, the shell or whatever. So what you would do now is just type in reboot, or you can hold Control and R for 2 to 3 seconds, or you can type in startup and hit enter, and it'll reboot the computer, or run the startup file, whatever you choose to do, and it'll work because now you got these. And so what this will do is now the computer will be sending out signals through the RedNet system, through the networking cable, and this computer can relay it. So once this cable reaches that 256 block limit, you can put down one of these computers, and then you can go another 256 blocks. So you can use this to relay it out. The only issue though is each time you have to go through one of these computers, there's like a 1 tick delay, and so there is that. But it's pretty subtle. Like, I only ever notice it when running the example, I only notice it when it plays the note with the snare, with one of the 2 snare instruments. But anyways, now, it doesn't matter if you're going to go through one of these first or not. In order for the RedNet signals to be able to control the iron note blocks, you're going to need to put down the node. And so we'll put down a computer here to serve as the node, and we can attach a note block there. And same with the main computer, you can attach a note block with a networking cable and right-click that to connect it to the network. Then you just link this to either the main computer or a relay computer. And now we run the install on this computer. Same code. As I look back at my notepad. Except now we put in 3. And now that'll be running. And so now, since we already reloaded the note block so that the computer would know that modem is there, if you didn't reload the note blocks yet, you would have to do that now with this. But now, if we run a music file, that is loud. But yeah, so now a RedNet signal is being transmitted from the main computer there, and it's traveling along and it's reaching the relay computer, and that relay computer is then looking at it, making sure it's in the right format and everything, and then it'll retransmit it. However, you can skip that relay. You don't have to have that relay computer. You can skip it entirely as long as those are within as long as that computer is within the 256 block limit. Anyways, once the signal reaches that computer will then take the signal, and the signal will tell that computer what instrument in what pitch, and it'll just play it to all the note blocks exactly how that one does. And you can probably hear it with when it plays the snare at the end of the loop there. There is a slight delay as you can hear it play a second time, like almost immediately after the first time. I'll turn that off because it's loud. Anyways, yeah, there's nothing I can do about that delay. However, if you have these spaced out efficiently, then you won't notice it anyways, because by the time you come in within audio range of one that has that delay, you'll be out of audio range of one that doesn't. And so you won't know it's there if you have them spaced out efficiently. And if you don't have them spaced out efficiently, it just gets loud like it does there. And so I don't know why you wouldn't space it out efficiently. Anyways, yeah. This is basically, it also logs what it's doing with the message and the number of the message. So that computer sent 476 RedNet messages through the network before I stopped it. You can see that there. And the reason why this is here is so if the signal, because what this relay does is I'd basically just use my jogNet relay code, so it's not custom made for this. And the upside with that though is if you were already using other things that I have developed that use my jogNet networking platform, then you could use the same network cables to run this. So it all just works together nicely. And so what the logs here do is if the signal, because what the relay point does is it makes sure that the signal is in the right format and makes sure the message is a table, and then the first slot in the table is has the string jognet, and it'll make sure it's not coming from or going to a computer that's blocked by the relay. And that would be most useful on servers where if somebody was known to be trying to send you a file that deletes everything on your computer, you could have your relay computers just block their computer, and then anything they send would not be able to get through. But anyways, if something does get dropped for one of those reasons, it'll say it here. So if it wasn't supposed to be dropped, you can figure out how to fix it. But that doesn't matter here because all that's done already. So you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, this is exactly like the built-in repeat script, except it's all wrapped into the same download install as everything else. And it's probably me being biased towards my own work, but I think the delay is slightly less with this one than it is with the built-in one. Anyways, yeah, I'll link the previous update in the description for the full tutorial on all the features, and I will also put in the download code. So that's about it for this update. If another one comes out, it'll probably be very, very small and pointless. But yeah, this is probably going to be the official version, final version of the jogOS music mixer. See you guys in the next one, if I can remember. That is not it. That wasn't it either. We do things professionally here, okay? See ya.